Right, so now I've got quite a lot of my reference points down, using the grid in conjunction with using the photo to kind of look at obvious points. You can see I'm roughly starting to get those kind of lines. Okay, so with those marks against the grid lines, and with your photo, you should be able to start getting the shape and the lines of things quite nicely. Okay, so this is how I kind of did that. If I have a look down here, so if I have a look at this kind of point, this part of the instrument, okay, I can see it's kind of a curving line. In fact, what I'm going to do, because my wrist bends better that way, okay, I'm going to rotate my page just to make life a little bit easier. All these little tricks you can do to help your drawing, and still keep an eye on your photo. I can see this bit here is wider than that bit as the instrument folds out. So make sure school belt. Make sure yours is similar. Always be checking backwards and forwards. My eyes, you can't see them, but my eyes always bounce backwards and forwards, double checking stuff all the time. So let's have a look up here, and again, it's getting wider. In fact, you can see my reference point is slightly wrong. Alright, I had it a little bit too low down. Now I'm coming back to it. I can see that, and I can adjust. There's nothing wrong with adjusting as you go. Alright, now these lines is what I would call feathery lines. They're roughly sketchy kind of lines. You know, they're not confident. They're just light lines that I'm using just to help get what I need, you know, getting the rough shape, getting the right angles, widths, okay, and I'll come back to those in a second. I'll show you a little example at the top, okay, what will be the final step, because I wouldn't be happy with this overall kind of outcome so far. It's a little bit too rough. It's not showing off that I can refine, and it's showing the accuracy. So just to recap, first steps is always doing the reference marks, doing these lines, sketchy, rough lines. This is how all my GCSEs and A-level students work. In fact, that is completely wrong. I'm going to have to have a look at that area when I come back. Right, so if I got all my sketchy lines done first, and I was pretty happy with it, I'll come back in the final stage for the line drawing would be to just press a little bit harder. You can see the difference, and I'll zoom even closer. Zoom in even closer, and you can see that I'm kind of going for what we call a refined line. Nice, neat, confirmed line. And it'll be the one, when you look at your sketching lines, which one is the best? You know, which one fits the image the best? And what I'll do is I'll go nice and neatly all the way around, and then I'd use my rubber and get rid of those horrible sketchy lines that I don't want anymore. Okay, if you rub out a bit of your confident refined line, then because you press a tiny bit harder, you'll be able to see a bit of a ghost line. Okay. This is where you don't want lots of little lines. Okay, like what you're seeing here, getting rid of those kind of rough sketching, those first beginning kind of lines, to get something much neater. Take your time. This should be pushing to get your best kind of quality now. And if you don't need those grid lines anymore, get rid of those grid lines. Right? You don't want to see them at the end. We'll zoom out in a second, and so you can see the difference between the sketching part and the refining part. Right, so you can see further down here, you know, reference points, move that to sketching parts, feathery kind of lines, light, okay, to get the kind of right shapes, lines, angles, so forth. And then once you're happy with it, okay, going in and confirming, so you get a nice, confident, quality line for your outcome. Once you've done all that, that will be completed your line drawing.